I am CEO of 𝗨𝗏𝗂, and today we are going to talk about a very interesting topic, how to get maximum return on investment from your LLM, right? How to make it a turning point of your career. I need to highlight this, that a lot of people do their LLM with a lot of expectation, that they expect something good to happen out of it. Like people dream of doing an LLM abroad, especially, right? But very often it does not work out the way they thought it should be working out, or it will work out, right? In reality, they don't get enough return from their online LLM at all. In reality, people think that I want to work abroad, so they do an LLM and they come back after doing an LLM without able to secure any jobs in the foreign country where they wanted to get a job. They think that if they do the LLM, it will give them a direction in their career, right? It will give them some kind of solution. Their career will get better from there. But very often that does not happen at all. And it is something that people are facing all the time. Like, people are doing their LLM without adequate preparation, without adequate thought process going into it, without enough uh, if you want to really benefit out of something, you have to plan for it, you have to make it work. And there's very little information available on how to make your LLM. There are a lot of even we have done webinars on how to get through this law school, how to get through Oxford, how to get a scholarship, how to get selected by a good university maybe. But when it comes to how to make your LLM really count, how to make your LLM the turning point of your career, there is very little information available. And I have noticed that, and I thought that that is something that I want to address in today's session. Okay. So how many of you have already done an LLM? If you have done an LLM already, say yes in the chat, and please introduce yourselves in the chat. Tell me who's attending here. Hi Rishabh, good afternoon. Who else is attending? I see so many of you are here. Please quickly introduce yourselves in the chat. Some people are watching this live on YouTube as well. Please introduce yourselves. Who's watching? What's your name? What do you do? Have you done your LLM already? Do you want to do an LLM? Are you thinking of doing an LLM in the next 1 year? Where are you logging in from? Okay, some familiar faces. Kshitij, Raju, how are you? 𝗵𝗲𝗶, Kesarwani, hi. Kshitija is here, hi. Tell me about your LLM scene. Do you want to do an LLM? Do you fancy doing an LLM? Rishabh, looking to pursue LLM by 2021. Parvej from NLU Assam. Are you planning to do an LLM? Parvej, what do you think about LLM? Samiksha, hi. Niharika, thinking of doing an LLM from UK in IPR. Why UK? Right, Niharika? Why don't you tell me that? Just curious, not that it's a wrong decision. I'm just asking. Raksha, a law student. Awesome. So 𝗵𝗲𝗶, tell me, what is it that you are thinking about LLM? Kinjal, want to pursue LLM from USA. Samiksha, not sure, but right now I'm doing LLB. I'm a law graduate. Because UK and India have similar law. Okay, interesting. People in YouTube, why are you so quiet? Why are you not saying anything? Parvez is saying, I want to do LLM abroad. Rupali, I want to pursue my LLM in IP and technology law. I'm a fresh graduate. Mitali, planning to pursue LLM in 2022 from UK in international commercial arbitration. Great. So many of you have so many different dreams, so many different things you want to do. Kshitij is saying, I'm in a dilemma whether to do LLM or to carry on with the law firm job and gain some experience and then go. Very good. This you will really benefit from today's session. So all of you are in the right place. You'll get a lot of information that's going to make up your mind, and not only make up your mind, it will give you a strategy to prepare. Okay, your LLM, if you really want to make the best out of LLM, it's not like when I land in UK or US or Japan or wherever you're doing an LLM, when I land there, then my LLM will start. No, that's not how it works. Your LLM preparation, the work has to begin much before, not in terms of application, but once getting into an LLM has become much easier today, right? There are so many universities, there are so many colleges, they are offering LLM, and prices are low. There are so many options that getting into a good reputed university is not that difficult today. Okay, not difficult at all. But what is difficult is to actually get something out of that LLM. That is much, much, much harder. Most people are spending money, time, energy, effort, and then getting very little returns out of it. Okay, how many of you have seen people who have done an LLM abroad and then got no results out of it? They are in the same place where they were. Anybody knows anybody like that? Just write that in the chat. Write the story. Looking forward to that. Anybody knows anything? Quick, 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 quick. Anybody can think of someone who did an LLM with a lot of hope. I know so many people, right? People who have gone done LLM. A lot of your seniors, Komal, yeah. Just tell me a little more about that. So I'll give you an example. There's a batchmate of mine. She did her LLM from like a very good, and she's from NUJ's graduate, right? She did LLM from a famous UK university, and she was hoping that this LLM would, maybe it will get her some more salary. It'll be easier to find a job in India. Anyway, she did not. She tried to getting through some United Nations job and stuff like that. That's what she was thinking when she went, but none of that worked out. She came back to India, and then she applied to law firms. Nobody gave it any importance that she has an LLM. It was more important that she graduated from NUJS than the LLM she had. Nobody, it didn't even, help her much. It helped her a little when she was applying for teaching jobs. When she applied to universities to get a teaching job, it helped her a little. But otherwise, it wasn't helping at all to get jobs, nor was she getting offered more salary because she has a foreign LLM. Right? You may think that we have a foreign LLM, should be getting paid more, right? My friend did it in maritime law from Nottingham University, but now he's facing big problem in terms of job. Absolutely, right? Most seniors I know who have done LLM abroad have come back to India, Rupali is saying. Ultimately, they started working for their family businesses. There's my friend who did LLM from UK, but he did not get any job in UK, so he came back to India. My senior did it from Columbia University, which is one of the top universities in US, but didn't secure any job and came back from USA. So there are thousands of stories like that. And some of these stories start with a lot of enthusiasm, optimism, and then it ends up in a very bad place. And that's exactly what I want to prevent for you, right? So I'm going to give you a pathway so that this does not happen to you. You actually end up getting the kind of jobs that you want to get, getting the opportunities you want to get. My tutor's son has done LLM from Queen's University, joined his father's tutorial classes. I think this is not done. That's an interesting situation. But yeah, but when you're doing an LLM, you're thinking that, oh, I'm doing LLM from this famous university. I'm sure this will help me. But then if it is not helping you, then you will be really shocked, right? That what is going on, man? Like, it was not supposed to be like this. It was supposed to be something good. So exactly. So I'm going to talk to you about that today, explaining to you how to avoid such a situation, how to avoid doing an LLM and not getting the results you wanted in the first place out of it, right? Awesome. So let's pull up my presentation for the day. I have a presentation ready for you as usual. Okay, how many of you are attending my session for the first time? I see a lot of familiar faces, but some of you are attending for the first time, right? So if you are attending my session for the first time, write yes in the chat. Write 1 in the chat. And if you're attending for many times, then write something else. Write 2 in the chat. I don't know. Right? So I'll know how many of you are attending many times and how many of you are here for the first time. That will be really awesome. Okay. Okay. Oh, a lot of people attending for the first time. Nice. So you're attending my session for the first time. Hope you like it. I would really love your feedback at the end of this. All right. How to make your foreign LLM, especially US LLMs, but yeah, foreign LLM. I realize that this applies to all the LLMs, a turning point of your career. Okay. When I finished my LLB in 2011, sorry, this is not 2010, I wrote 2010 by mistake. When I finished my LLB in 2011, before even I finished my, 2011 March, I was done with my LLB. But yeah, actually probably in 2010, my mother asked, when will you do a master degree? LLB is done, so when will you do a master degree, right? Did your parents ask you when you are finishing your LLB, or maybe you have not finished yet and they're already asking, do you have any plan for doing a master degree? What are you thinking? Anybody? In the chat, quickly tell me if this is happening. Yes, they are asking, right? So what do they expect? What do they want? What are they saying about doing LLM? So my mother was like, you should do an LLM. Why are you not doing an LLM? Anybody saying that like that to you also? They ask, what are your plans after 5 years? But plans after 5 years can even be, doing a job, right? You have to do a job after 5 years. But are they insisting that, no, you should do an LLM and all of that, right? Okay, there is hi Muskan, hi 𝗵𝗵𝗹𝗃, awesome. Okay, and Hardit is even yet to join a law school. Good, learn about it. Doesn't harm if you're not in law school. If you learn about these things ahead, you get more time to prepare. Then you do amazing things when you're in college. So don't hesitate. Be here throughout the session. It will help you. Okay, so according to them, it might work in my favor. Favor if I make a career in teaching. Komal, right? So they are right. If you want to do a career in teaching, getting a foreign LLM is an excellent idea, right? It's like it's a great backup option for one, right? Teaching is a nice job, is sometimes considered to be less. There's not as much pressure and all of that. But I don't know. I think now teaching is also a pretty stressful job these days. It's not that easy. Most people suggest to do LLM right away and finish studies in one go. However, I want to pursue LLM with some work experience. Yeah, that's also something to think about, because when you have good work experience, you can get actually better LLM opportunities, right? It can really help to go with 3-4 years, 5 years, and I'll tell you about that a little bit later. It's a good decision. Just take a wise decision by yourself according to your interest, like ROI, ROR. What is ROR? Return of, like, ROI is return on investment. I want to talk about it. What is ROR, Rishabh? I'm curious. As a lot of money has to be infused. Very good, very good. So, so what happened is my mother did her master degree at the age of 40 when I was in high school. Okay. So even at the age of 40, and guess what? Rate of return. Okay. Sure. So that's ROI, return on investment. Sure. Rate of return, good. Through a correspondence course, my mother did her master degree, not LLM. It was master degree in Bengali literature, I think. And she's retired now. Back then, she was a government school teacher. Okay, and Bengali literature was not her subject. Her subjects that she taught was biology and physical education. Okay, so she had to do a master degree in biology or in physical education, but she was not getting a good any place to do such correspondence course, and getting a master degree in Bengali literature was considered easy. So she did a correspondence course and got her degree, right, in master degree. Now it would not give her any employment benefit. Okay, so, but she was doing it. Why she was doing it? Any idea why she was doing it? Okay, it was a correspondence course. It would not give her any employment benefit. Still, she did it. It was a purely emotional reason, right? And why was she doing it? Essentially, she was doing this. Oh my God! Somebody is logging into my account. What's going on? Okay, whoever did has left now. Good. So she tried her best to influence me to do an LLM, but she did it. Why she did it? For a purely emotional reason, that having a master degree was considered a privilege, right? It is not just, oh, I have a It will somehow help me in my job or something like that, or it will get me a higher pay scale. No, she was doing it purely for an emotional reason. It's a validation. It is a privilege to do master degree. Like, there was a time in India when everybody could not do master degree. There were not enough seats. There were really few seats to do master degree in India. That's not the situation now. Today, anybody wants to do master degree. There are more master degree seats than actually people willing to do master degree. And this was around the world. In universities, there were not enough seats to do master degree. And people had this huge thing that, oh, if you're doing a master degree, means you are really smart. You must be like cream of the cream if you're doing master degree. Because doing bachelor degree was one thing, but there were so few seats for master degree in educational institutions that not everybody had the good fortune to do a master degree. And that is where my mother was coming from. Doing a master degree was prestigious. Oh, I have a master degree. Okay, like that. So she tried her best to influence me to do an LLM when I was finishing my LLB. Of course, by that time I had become an independent person. So I said, no, this doesn't make any sense. You don't know anything. Okay. Why? Because it is not adding up in terms of ROI. Okay. I have just finished my LLB. I am paying my educational loans for doing that LLB, whatever money I had to pay. And my goal was to start a startup, start a business and make a lot of money. I was not thinking that, oh, I need one. By the way, like 5 years of law education was so tiring. By the time I was in like 4th, 5th year, khatam kar. I'm not really learning anything useful in class anymore. I hope this gets over soon. How many of you have experienced that in law school? If you're doing a 5-year course, do you sometimes feel like, when will this bloody education end? Right? Ho gaya. I want to do some work. I want to, But by the way, after I have graduated 10 years back in 2011, almost 10 years, right? And now I feel that kitna acha tha. Like, it was so nice to, when you are literally have nothing else, and you want to you can just study, you can just write, I'm doing that, I'm studying, I'm writing, I'm doing all that. But yeah, being in college carefree, that sometimes you will miss that. So anyway, the point is that, it was not making sense to me for ROI, and ROI is return on investment, if you don't know. So if you're going to invest money, so for example, if you're doing an LLM in the US, okay, from like a Harvard or from one of those famous Columbia, whatever, you might end up spending around 1 crore. Okay, you end up spending 1 crore in a year. Guys, 1 crore, that is the most expensive year in your life. If you're doing it from like a National University of Singapore or something, in Singapore, definitely not as it is also a very expensive city. You'll probably end up spending 30-40 lakhs on your LLM. And I'm not talking only about the fee of the college, right? It's not tuition fee. There is also the cost of living. And I'm not even talking about the lost income. So if I have, imagine that you're earning 10 lakhs a year or 5 lakhs a year or 20 lakhs a year, depending on where you stand, whatever money you are earning every year. If you go for an LLM, then for 1 year, you will not be earning anything, right? So that money is also lost. On top of that, you are spending 30 lakhs for 50 lakhs, 1 crore for doing that 1 year of education. Then there has to be some return, na? Like, you don't want to just spend money and get nothing out of it, right? If I tell you that do a course with 𝗨𝗨, you will not get anything out of it, will you do it? No, simple. You want result after that. You want some return on investment. If there is no return on investment, you will probably not want to do that, right? Sudarshan is saying we are gradually excited to do LLM outside, but as compared to India, basic graduation includes Indian laws and the US laws are different. So what's the solution? Is it necessary that we have to pursue LLB from national college to study abroad? No. It's not like that. Okay, there's no connection with NLU and studying abroad. Okay, I'll tell you everything. Don't worry. Hold on. Have patience. Can't answer everything at once. But so return of investment was important for me. And most LLMs, by the way, a lot of LLMs have no ROI, right? So for example, somebody said, her friend did like a master degree in shipping law from a UK law college. Now, if you do I mean, how will it help? Like, what was he thinking? Was he thinking that he'll come back to India, get a maritime law job? Was he thinking that he'll get a maritime job in UK? Was he thinking that he'll get a maritime job in Dubai? Was there any comprehensive plan that how he will get a job in shipping law or maritime law anywhere in the world? Or just, mujhe mil gaya, oh, I am so lucky I got an LLM opportunity, let me go and do it. That doesn't work. Okay. So most LLMs do not have an ROI, like you will not going to get any result out of it unless you plan thoroughly. It is possible to get ROI out of more or less any course if it coincides with your purpose, if you have a plan, if you have a thorough idea as to what you're going to do. You have to have a calculation, right? Why it will work. If you have no plans, most people have no plans. People do it as a matter of prestige. Oh, now I have LLM from UK. Now I must be a better lawyer. Sorry, it doesn't work like that. If you get, I don't know if if you have LLM in, I don't think people give you so much extra prestige. Will your clients be willing to pay you extra money because you have LLM from UK? Some people might consider it that, oh, you have a LLM UK, very good. There are, maybe you have some UK clients, it will make a lot of sense. If you're able to get some UK clients, at least they are coming to you for queries and then they see, oh, you have a LLM from UK, it might give them more confidence to hire you, right? Because, oh, you have gone to a good university in the UK, you must be good. Or let's say you're dealing with a US MNC and they see that you have got a degree from Oxford or from a good US university, it might give them confidence that, oh, this person has a certification from a US, so he has got some standard, right? So it can help, but otherwise it will not, which is fine, okay? But people do it for prestige, it is okay. If it works for them, it works for them. But I operate differently, I personally, right? So I believe that we have little time on earth and we have very few opportunities in life, right? I try to optimize everything. I want, if I do something, there better be a good ROI on it. I'm working on achieving like massive success in my life, right? I set my goals very high. Okay. So if I have a revenue, I'll be like, okay, how can we double this revenue? How can we triple this revenue? Okay. And it does not happen accidentally. If I am earning something, I'll think, okay, can I earn 10 times more? How can I earn 10 times more? Let me think about it. And none of this happens accidentally. It requires careful plan and very good execution, right? Sir, do law firms in India consider an LLM student for the job? No, they really don't care. Like if you talk to Indian law firms, they will say that we don't care so much if you have a LLM from abroad or not. Sure, it is nice to have. For example, if you have a LLM from Harvard, they'll be like, nice, Harvard graduate, very nice. But will they pay you extra salary? I'm sorry. Not even the top law firms in this country will pay you extra salary. They, whatever pay grade they have, they will pay the same to the guy who doesn't have LLM and who has LLM also. This is the truth. Okay. And they don't mind. It's not like they prefer hiring LLM graduates over LLB graduates. No. It's not like that at all. So when I set out to make $1 million business, like $1 million US dollar, right? I want to make a business like that. I have achieved that already, right? And I want to make it 10 times bigger, 100 times bigger now. Now in 2020, despite a bad economic environment, we tripled our revenue at 𝗨𝗨𝗂 and will probably grow more before the year is over. But for this, we need to work with a plan. We work with a focus on ROI. So I am also asking you that if you want to do something in your life, then set your goals high, set your standards high. That the best thing you can do in your life is to have high standards. Okay. And once you have high standards, then you set your goals accordingly, that I am going to target only do those things which are high ROI. And if it is ROI is low, then I will not be doing it. Right? So when it comes to pursuing any kind of educational courses also, I have similar high standard. So when I started after quitting a law firm job, right, I was working in Paralegal for a year, then I left and started 𝗍𝗫leaders as a full-time role, as a full-time startup. And that time I thought that, okay, I had a plan, okay. I thought if I fail, if this startup fails, then I need an exit strategy. How will I then exit and do something else? And I thought that, okay, master degree will be my exit strategy. Maybe an MBA, maybe LLM, whatever. By doing that, I will exit this situation, my exit strategy. The business never failed. So I never really had the opportunity to consider how an LLM would help me, or I considered many times, but it never made sense that I should go and do an LLM in some other country or someplace, right? I have to consider the opportunity cost if I do an LLM, right? Like you also have to do. When I'm giving my example, you need to think of yourself. Does it make sense for you? When will it make sense for you? One thing is opportunity cost. Do you guys know what is opportunity cost? Who can tell me what is opportunity cost? If you don't know, Google it, guys. Make a habit of Googling whatever you don't know. Some you hear a new thing, Google it. Google opportunity cost. What is opportunity cost? Who can tell me? Kshitija is asking, will doing LLM from abroad help in judiciary exams of India? No, it won't. And I'll tell you something. If you want to do LLM, wait till you become a judge. Because when you become a judge, you apply for LLM, it will be much easier. You will get a scholarship, everything. Much easily, you will get everything. So don't do if you're going, while writing judiciary exam, focus on that. Don't bother about doing LLM. Not worth it. Okay. What is opportunity cost, right? The cost of losing another opportunity to get one. So basically what happens when you are choosing one opportunity, Kinjal is very right. When you are choosing one opportunity, you are missing some other opportunity. For example, if I go for LLM, okay, like in the last 1 year, I have tripled my business. So if I go for an LLM, probably I'll have to not be able to do it, right? So I will lose money. I will lose opportunity for growth, but I'll get an LLM. So I have to compare the opportunity that I'm losing with the opportunity I'm taking, and then I'll be able to decide which opportunity I should opt for, right? Now, some people have no opportunity only. They have only one opportunity. For them, it is very easy to decide. But people who have multiple options, they have to look at opportunity cost before they can decide what they really want to do, right? Now, Kshitij is asking, will it be helpful to do an MBA after LLB? We'll talk about that later, right? You don't want to confuse different issues, but I note your question. Remind me towards the end. I'll answer your question in detail. So I have to consider the opportunity cost. And in my case, the opportunity cost is very high, very, very high, right? And remember that doing an LLM is like gun with one bullet. Imagine that you are in a dangerous situation and you have one bullet in your gun, right? Will you shoot it in the air? No, you will save the bullet till you really, really need it, right? You will not shoot it in the air, will you? You will not waste that bullet. You will probably do only one master in your life. So your master degree is like your one bullet. You save it for when you really need it and when you can really use it well, not random, right? How many of you are with me? If you are with me, if you understood, say yes in the chat, quick. So many people watching on YouTube saying nothing at all. Okay, so it's a one gun, one bullet gun, right? So you better make it count. Okay, so when you fire that bullet, it better do some damage, make some difference, right? I do not want to pursue any course, and this is a mentality, a mental map I want you to think of. I do not want to pursue any course unless I see at least 10x return. If I have put in money, effort, whatever, I want to see at least 10x return over the next 1 to 3 years. 10x, not less than that. Set a target that if I am going to do an LLM, I want to get a 10x return. If I want to spend 1 crore, I want to want 10 crores out of it in the next 3 years. If I spend 30 lakhs, then I want 3 crores out of it in the next 3 years. Otherwise, I'll not do it. Make a plan. Until you have a plan, don't even go randomly do an LLM. Okay? Because if you make a plan, you will be able to achieve it. That is the what brilliant thing is, right? You can actually earn that 10 crores. If you plan, you can actually earn that 3 crores in 3 years. Okay, if you plan. But most people never plan. They don't even think You are not even thinking in that direction. How will you achieve it? Do you think you can, stumble on such a result? No, not going to happen. Okay, it has to be by design. You have to design it, then only it will happen. So how is it that going to happen? Okay, if you don't want 10x, at least 5x to target kar sakte na. If you don't want 10x, you think that no, this is too much. Ramanuj is crazy. I want only 5x. Okay, but kam se kam 5 lakhs to hona chahiye. Kshitij is asking, what if our plan go wrong? So for that, imagine if you are building a bridge over a river. Okay, you are an engineer. Now you're building a bridge. If you make miscalculation, the bridge will come down. People will die. Thousands of crores or hundreds of crores will be wasted. Just imagine a flyover in Delhi. It costs 200, 300 crore to build a flyover. Forget a bridge over a river. Right? 200-300 crores it costs to even make a flyover in Delhi. Right? Do you have the option to say if it goes wrong? Can the engineer say if it goes wrong? If our plan goes wrong, then the flyover will fall. Can you afford it? No. So if they can build that where there are so many factors, right? Soil में भूकंप आ सकता है. Maybe the soil can. I don't know how many things can happen, right? They have to foresee and plan for everything and create a plan that will work in every circumstance. And that flyover will be standing for the next 10, 20 years, 30 years. I don't know, 100 years. How they plan. But literally, that is the level of planning. Do you make such planning? What are you talking about? If you plan properly, why will it fail? Okay. That is what. If you are not sure, then don't do it now. Nobody will build if they are not sure that the flyover will not fall, will not break, will not cause problem. They'll not even build that flyover. Do you realize? But they work till they figure out where to build, how it will be 100%, then only they build it. Niharika is saying, I go for an UK LLM right after my LLB without any work experience, but if I get a scholarship for it. Yeah. When you are getting a scholarship, very good Niharika, then you got the scholarship, right? So it is drastically reducing your costs. Okay, maybe you have no costs. You still have opportunity cost, by the way. That also needs to be thought of, right? But maybe for you, when you're just graduating, what is your opportunity cost? For 1 year, you will not get a salary, no problem. You may be okay with that. Okay. But if you are already a law firm partner, or you are like a senior associate in a lawyer and your income per year is 50 lakhs per year, then you will start thinking that, is it a good idea? Yeah. Maybe a good idea. I'm not saying it's not a good idea. You need to fully consider everything, right? Okay. So you have to think about ROI in all circumstances. And imagine you got a scholarship and you go there, but you don't get any result, you come back to India. Is it okay with you, Niharika? Sure, you didn't spend any money out of your pocket, but your one bullet is gone, right? Will somebody give you scholarship another time? No, you already got a scholarship. Use it properly. If you didn't use it properly, nobody will give you another scholarship, right? Next time you apply for any scholarship, people will ask, so what amazing thing did you do with the scholarship you got the last time? Yeah. So however, if I am not caring about ROI, it is possible. Then I will do an LLM or whatever master degree, knowing clearly that it is a sabbatical from work. Sabbatical from work is like a break from work. Taking a year off from what I have been doing for ages, for 1 decade in my case, to explore something new. I'm just bored out of my mind doing the same thing, or I want a change of environment. I want a break. I can afford it. I'll do it. Okay. It's a question of having that much money, that much time, that much luxury, that you're doing an LLM as a luxury, which is fine. Or you're doing some other MBA, whatever master degree as a luxury. That is absolutely fine. But then you better have that luxury before taking that luxury, right? Divya Jain is saying, I'm a 3rd year law student. I'm still exploring various career options in law, but I want to choose one and stick to it for another 2 years. But I want to explore more. Will this exploration leads to wastage of time? See, it is very hard to say what is wastage of time and what is not. But think of it in terms of ROI. First of all, what is your goal? When you graduate, Divya, do you want to have a job in your hand or not? Do you have the luxury to explore? If you have the luxury to explore, please go ahead. If you are a third-year law student, you have 2 years in your hand to get a job. Most people don't understand this, that this 2 years is not a lot of time. In 2 years, how many internships will you do? 4, 5? So if you want to get a job in a PPO somewhere, at least 2, 3 internships in that place you have to do. And you have to do such a great job that they're like, wow, we would really want to hire this person. Then you will get a PPO, Divya. Right? You have 2 years for that. Is it a lot of time? Okay. So if you keep exploring now for the next 2 years, then most probably you will graduate without a job. Most probably. And this happens to anyway. Most people are graduating without a job, especially in today's environment. Even from NLUs, from top places, people are graduating without a job. Okay? Top 5 NLUs, people are graduating without job. They won't advertise it, they won't talk about it, but this is the truth. Okay? So you better be careful, you better watch out, you better work hard so that you're not graduating without a job. If getting a job at the time of graduation is important enough for you. Otherwise, you might end up with a job which pays you 10,000 rupees per month, 8,000 rupees per month. Will that be okay with you? Or you are working in a LPO doing data entry work, correct? So if you don't want such a situation, then you have to work for the next 2 years. Do you have the luxury to keep exploring? This is exactly the situation with LLM also, right? I don't want to answer every question under the sun right now. We want to focus on our topic today, Divya, that what about LLM, right? So what all should you consider to understand your ROI from LLM? But these questions, I know many of you are having a lot of questions. Let me do something quickly. Let me share my Twitter handle so that you can ask me questions on Twitter. That will really help. Because, I know many questions are coming to your mind as I keep talking, but I don't want to divert from today's topic, right? But I want to answer your questions at the same time. So my request is that here is my Twitter profile, right? Please follow me on my Twitter profile. And anytime you have any these kind of questions, you can ask me on me on Twitter, and I'll happily answer all your questions, right? But let's stick to our topic today for the time being, right? Just a second, guys. Let me pull back my slides. Okay. So I'm there on Twitter. You can follow me there and we'll have a chat. Okay. All right. So what all should you consider to understand your ROI? Okay. Number one, very, very important factor. Number one factor, it is different for someone with a career and without a career. Okay. Some of you actually have a career already and some of you don't have a career. Okay. Yet you want to build a career, but you don't really have a career. Someone who has no viable career yet, no income, no immediate prospect of income. You don't know when are you going to start earning money, where is it going to come from. Then you don't have a viable career yet, you want to build one. So you will be looking at LLM very differently. For you, opportunity cost is very, very low. Someone with a thriving career needs to consider the impact. So if you're already having a lot of income, you have great reputation in the court, or you have a lot of clients, you're doing well, you're growing fast. You don't want to kill the momentum, right? Imagine you're growing really well. Do you want to disappear from 1 year in the market? All your clients will go away to somebody else at that time, right? So somebody with a thriving career has a lot of headache, needs to consider the impact of taking a break on their current work situation, right? Number two, what would your LLM cost? Not only in tuition fee, but overall cost of living and lost income, right? So in some cases, you can actually continue to work while you are doing your LLM. Okay. For example, if you're doing an online LLM, and these days a lot of top universities are offering online LLMs, then you can continue to work while you're doing your LLM. Many of you may not want that option, but then you have no lost income. That's one. Number two, very, very important, that even if you're doing an on-campus LLM, in many, many cases, guys, you will be able to actually earn money on the side. Okay, some places, for example, in the US, you can work within the campus. It is allowed. You can do some work within the campus. Okay, for Indian people with student visa. You can certainly do online work outside US. Okay, because the visa does not regulate if you do any work outside USA. So if you're doing online work, and if you can figure out how to continue to do online work, then you can actually reduce your opportunity cost drastically, as you don't lose your income. You can still have an income if you're doing online work. How to do, what to do, to be figured out. Number 3, you have to consider what will change after your LLM. Will you have access to a certain kind of job that you are not getting before? For example, if you want to work at the United Nations, you must have a master's degree. Without a master's degree, they will not consider anyone. So if you have a master's, you want to work at the United Nations, you have to have a master's degree. Is your goal to be a academician? Then you need a master's degree. Without a master's degree, you can't really be an effective academician, or you can't really go into academia without LLM. It might make sense to do a LLM in India if the only purpose is to qualify for that role. But then sometimes there are some universities which will pay you more money. For example, Jindal will pay you more money. Amity will pay you more money if you are a foreign LLM. Okay. So you have a foreign LLM from a famous university, because they are using it to showcase that, oh, look, we have great people from great universities. For them also, it helps in branding, and maybe actually you're a better teacher, you have an international perspective and so on. So you get better opportunities as a teacher if you have such a foreign LLM. And some universities are even paying you very good salary, maybe paying you 1 lakh per month, 2 lakh per month. There are some few rare universities which will pay you like that. Okay. If you had to take a loan to do this LLM, and maybe you don't have to take a loan, that's not the point, but you should calculate. If I had to take a loan to do this LLM, how long will I take to pay back the money from my increased income? First of all, there is a big question. Will there be any increase in my income? Right? Will there be any increase in my income? Number 1 question. Number 2 question is that how long will it take me to pay back all this money that I've spent? Maybe I have not had to take a loan because I had some savings or my father gave me whatever. The question is that if I had to take a loan, how long will it take me to pay back that loan? That number is important to know, because sometimes you're spending too much and getting too little in return, and you should know that. Especially if the money is important for you. For a lot of people, they have so much money, it doesn't matter. Right? They're like, oh, I won't even notice this money. 1 crore is nothing, or 30 lakhs is nothing. So for those people, it's great. If you are doing an LLM for purely emotional reasons, like my mother did, this calculation will not matter. Then it is of no relevance, right? Focus on better per capita income. It's per capita. Oh my God, this is an autocorrect. I'm so sorry. Focus on better per capita income, not capital. Focus on better per capita income, not the size of the economy. Okay, so when you are trying to choose a country, which country should you choose, right? Should you choose a country which has, so in India, like obviously you are trying to go to a country which has a bigger economy than India, right? Which countries have a bigger economy than India? Can anybody tell me? Which countries have a bigger economy than India? US, UK, okay. Any other countries? Germany, France, China. Good. Now, Singapore, Australia doesn't have a bigger economy than us, okay? But it is not about the bigger economy. We need to look at the countries which have better per capita income. What are the countries where people are earning more money per head than our country? Because Canada might have less total economy than our country, right? but they in that country there are fewer people, much fewer people. So with lesser people, they're earning this much economy, right? So how to get the ROI if you do an LLM? In countries with a better economy than India, but remember that we are not focusing on bigger economy, but we are focusing on countries which have more per capita income. Okay, and which countries are these? USA, UK, Germany, China, Japan, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Korea. So these are some of the countries where we have a better per capita income than in India. There are more. Singapore, sure, more, but I have given you the larger countries. And definitely you want to consider that is this a country that has English as the first language or not. If it does not have English as the first language, then that is another problem, guys, because you might not actually know that language, right? So if you are trying to make a career in China and you don't know Chinese, it will be very hard. If you are trying to make a career in South Korea, you have to learn Korean. If you want to make a career as a lawyer in France, sure, you know English, it's great, but you will also have to learn French. You'll have to learn German if you want to go to Germany. But there are other countries like UK, US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Hong Kong, Dubai. These countries, you don't need to learn the local language so much. If you have English, it is good enough for you to work there, right? So this makes a huge difference. So another thing is that you have to land a job in that country after graduation for your ROI to be justified, right? If you choose to come back to India, you have to have created a network that will refer you work from that country. So either you're getting a job in that country, or to get a ROI, when you come back to India, people from that country will refer you work. You have a network there, lawyers there who have enough work that they have international clients, they'll send you work to India. This is how you need to think about it. Either you get a job there so that you're earning enough, because in those countries you can earn, like for example, US 17 times purchasing power parity, PPP is 17 times. Okay, so if you are earning 1 lakh rupees in India, it is possible that you will be able to earn 17 lakhs per month in the US as in a similar job. So it is much easier to recover the money there and justify the ROI. If you choose to come back to India, you have to have created a network then, because you are going to charge Indian money, right? You are not charging dollars. Then you need to figure out what are you going to do while you are there, that people from that country will send you work in India. Otherwise, it will not be justified. Okay. So are you guys with me till here? Let me see in the chat. What are you guys saying? In the chat, everyone. Are you with me? Then say with you, so that I'm clear. Okay, I just see 3 people, 4 people, 5 people. What about the rest of you? There's some 30, 40 of you here. Please respond. There's so many people watching on YouTube. Please respond. Yeah, good. So I know you are here. Awesome. So how are you going to do any of these things? Either land a job there, or when you come back, you have such a good network that people will refer work to you back to India. Where do most people fail? Let us see that where do most people fail here, that they are not able to get this result when they are doing the LLM. Okay, where do they fail? Why do they fail? That's very important to understand. Anybody has any guess? Where do they fail? Can somebody tell me why people fail to get a job in that country, or why do they fail to get work referred to them back in India? What is the reason? I am clear that there is one simple reason. Somebody is saying reference and skills. Not working hard enough in LLM. Lack of objectives. Why they're there. Lack of networking. Don't have required practical knowledge. Lack of planning and awareness. I'll go with what Rupal is saying, lack of planning and awareness. But if I can say in one sentence, in one phrase, in fact, it is because of lack of time. Okay? Most people are beginning with anything when they actually land up in the, see, you might have 100 deficiencies in your life, right? Maybe you don't have skills, maybe you don't have personality, maybe you are not disciplined. I'm not going into all of that. Maybe you don't have a network, you don't know how to build a network. Sure. Maybe your public speaking is bad. Maybe you sleep too long every day. Maybe you are, not healthy, whatever. Not going into all that kind of reasons. But there is one primary reason that affects everyone, is that the LLM is a very, very short program. Guys, it's not even 1 year. How long is an LLM? People say 1 year. It's not even 1 year. Do you know how long an LLM is in the UK or in the US? 8 months, 6 months. It's not 6 months. But yeah, it is like 9 months. 8 months to 9 months, your LLM will be over. If you're in UK, after that you have to be back sitting on a flight coming back to India. Literally, in the UK, US, you will get a little more time. But seriously, it's not enough time. Where do most people fail? They fail to get a job in 9 months or build a substantial network in 9 months. Imagine, you have to study. You have to learn an entire new legal system in that country, right? If you're in the US, you're trying to learn, oh, what is this jury trial? What is this discovery? What is this deposition? You have never seen these things. What is this corporate law is entirely different in US compared to India. You're trying to learn the procedure. There's so much to learn. Most of you don't manage to learn about Indian law after 5 years in your college or 3 years. Okay, nine months you have to learn everything about that country. You have to study. You have to do your assignments, and there will be a lot more assignments in those colleges than most colleges in India. You have to pass your exams. Okay, and you have to have fun. If you've gone there, you are lucky. I know all of you want to have fun when you go to UK, US, wherever, right? Right. And you imagine if you're in the US, you have to qualify New York bar. If you're in the UK, if you want to work there, you have to write QLTS. Now there is solicitor's qualification exam. So you have to write those exams and qualify. Okay. You have to network with people. You have to intern somewhere. You have to get a job. Where is the time? If I tell you to do this in India, will you be able to do it? I'm giving you 9 months. Okay. You have to do all of this. Half of you will not be able to do it. Why half? Like very few would actually manage to do it in such a short time. Everything. Okay. There are very few people who manage to do it. I know some people who have managed to do it, but they are like, they started early. They are like great. They have IQs which is much above average and so on. Okay. Very, very few people. I have done webinar with some such people. Or they are just simply so determined and so focused. They ignored everything else and they focused on getting a job and managed to get a job. So too short a time period. Okay, simple. That is, time is so short that actually to do anything, hardly any time. You need to give yourself more time. That will change everything. Imagine instead of 9 months, you had 3 years. 2 years, it will be so much more easier. Okay. In like after 9 months, isn't it possible that we apply to US UK company? Sure, you can apply, but they'll ignore you. Why should they look at your CV? Why, when you apply to Indian law firms, what happens? Why do you think it will be so different if you apply to US and UK companies? They'll say, oh, come, let's take your interview. No, not going to happen. Oh, you have an LLM from Nottingham. Oh, you have LLM from Oxford. Even from Oxford, Cambridge, you have LLM. It's not like people will line up to hire you. Okay, come, give your interview, because they have hundreds of students graduating from even Oxford and Cambridge. Queens, and there are so many universities, no? There are hundreds of universities. You have to put in a lot of effort, put in a lot of networking, you have to intern. Then only you'll be able to make it. So you need to give yourself more time. The more time you have, better chances you have. How to give yourself more time? Anybody has any clue of this? I'm sure you are very interested now and thinking how to give more time. How to give more time? What do you think? Mayank is saying, we are glad to attend this session, I must say, broadening our mind and perspectives. I am also glad that I'm able to do this. By making a proper schedule. So for a mediocre person, there is either you plan your job or complete LLM. No, ऐसा नहीं है. It's like you have to complete your LLM also, so that you can qualify in that country. Pursue another degree or diploma timetable related to our field. Okay, I'll explain. Okay, how to give it more time, yourself more time. Okay, very, very, very important. If you're doing an LLM, give yourself more time. This is the key of today's discussion. Give yourself more time. How to give yourself more time? I'm going to tell you. Sorry. Yeah. So start networking and learning the laws and procedure and the legal system of that country even before you start applying for LLM. Okay. So are you thinking, how is this possible? It is possible. Okay. Paralegal work. So I have been talking all this month about paralegal work. That is the solution if you want to make the best of your LLM. What I am suggesting here is radical. Other people have not, most people have not done this. Very few people have ever done this. And they got fantastic results. If you are interested in IP law, for example, here is what I recommend, okay? How to do paralegal work. So do an IP law certification from that country. For example, we have a course with Texas A&M University. It is a very highly respected IP law university, ranked number 8, okay, as an US IP law school. And how to get paralegal work, I will explain. Okay, first you have to get some certification from that country, so you know the rules and the procedures and how to do the work. Once you learn and you have a certification to prove that you have it, then inside the course you will be learning USPTO. Do you know what is USPTO? Anybody knows here what is USPTO? United States Patent and Trademark Office. So you learn how to do patent prosecution, trademark prosecution work with respect to USPTO, and then you can apply to lawyers in that country, US attorneys who are doing this work. You can offer to help them as a remote freelance paralegal. Remote freelance paralegal. Find paralegal work with US patent and trademark lawyers. And by the way, I have done a lot of workshops on this. I have showed you how to do it, but there are some videos on YouTube channel of 𝗨𝗏𝗂. And again, I'm going to have a 3-hour workshop on how to do this on 28th of November. That is, I think tomorrow is 28th, right? So tomorrow, 6 to 9 p.m., I have a workshop. Please be there. Make sure that you have saved your time and come there. I'm going to show you how to find paralegal work with US patent and trademark lawyers, US IP lawyers. Now, what will happen if you do this, right? You apply for LLM a year after doing this work, okay? How will that make a difference? How would that help? Can anybody guess how would that help? So imagine that, just think of the whole scenario, right? Imagine that you have learned the USPTO work in, what is the work that IP lawyers in the US are doing? What is the procedure? And the brilliant thing is that IP law in the US and India is very same. The rules are all same. Section numbers may change, but both of us are TRIPS compliant. If you're any country in the world which is a WTO member had to sign an agreement called TRIPS, and accordingly they had to amend their laws to bring in the same line. Correct? So you know the law in that country. Almost you understand the IP law. If you know the Indian IP law, you'll also know US IP law, at least the rules and how it functions. Then you learn the procedure, because the procedure is USPTO, because the law is same, but procedure is different. You have to learn the procedure. Then you are working with lawyers in that country, so you have enough practical insights of what happens, how it happens. Third, you have network in that country, people we are working with. If you're doing a remote freelance paralegal work, you don't have to do it only for one lawyer. You might be doing it for 5 different lawyers. And if they are liking your work, and I have shown you the impact of it earlier I will show you again on 28th. How would that help? It will be like they will like your work, they appreciate your work. Then it is that much easier to get referrals from them, to get recommendations from them, to get absorbed with them. Because when you are doing a good LLM from their country, after that, they'll be open to hiring you because they have already worked with you, they have comfort with you. So that is that much easier to get hired. You know how people from CLC in Delhi and GLC in Bombay get into the best law firms in the country? All they do is that they intern round the year and they do basically paralegal work around the year for these big law firms. So when they graduate, they get a job because they have so much comfort, so much face value, so much connection with those associates, with those law firms, that they have no reason to not get hired. Exactly what we are aiming for here, but with US lawyers, by doing US paralegal work, where there is absolutely no competition. Okay. And then when you are arriving in the country, you are not fresh. You know the laws of that country, you know the work, you know people, and you are able to network. By networking is not just going up to people and sending them messages on LinkedIn and saying, hey, hello. That is not networking. Networking is that you are able to offer some value to them. Now, how will you offer value to them if you don't know anything about that country, if you don't know anything about their legal system, you don't know any work in their country? You can't add value. You can't network in that country unless you know enough about the work, right? High performance in class, because you know the laws in that country, because you know the procedure, you will be even ahead of people from their country. Most LLM programs in the US, even in other countries, are for international students. The JD people don't do LLM. But even if there are such people, you will be performing in the top of your class because you have been working in US remote paralegal work for 1 year and you have tremendous knowledge of IP law in that country or whatever paralegal work you did. You have knowledge of how things work. Because of that, you will perform really well due to your practical knowledge in your class, and that would also reflect in your academic records, which will further help you to get better jobs. Then you will get recommended and referred or absorbed because the people you already worked with, say 3-4 good lawyers you worked with, maybe they will be able to absorb you for a job. If not, and if they appreciate your work, they can refer you to their friends and they'll do it. See, if you have done 1 month internship, nobody cares, but you have been working with them for 6 months, doing paralegal work, and then you're doing your LLM, they'll be happy. They'll feel obliged to help you out. Everybody, if you have helped them, they'll feel obliged to help you out and refer you and give recommendations for you. And it becomes easier to finance your LLM. A lot of LLMs will be outside your reach for many of us because it is too expensive. But if you are able to work side by side while you are doing your LLM, and that you'll be able to do because you already have such network, you know how to do USPTO work, blah, blah, blah. There are 10 ways to earn money online, even outside US. Okay. And even in the campus, because you have this much knowledge, you will get higher quality campus jobs with professors, research assistantship in some office somewhere in the, some research project going on. You'll be able to get much better work because you have knowledge, skills, and not like a clueless person just got off the boat, came from India, knows nothing about US or UK. It's not like that for you. So easier to finance your LLM. Having experience of working in multiple jurisdictions, very attractive hire. Okay, you know Indian work a bit. You are also doing online freelance remote work for US, very good. But maybe you have done it also in Japan. Maybe you have also done it for South Korea. You can, if you're doing freelance paralegal work, you can choose other countries also and help lawyers in those countries also. And you can do it just to show that you have overall global knowledge. And in a course like TAMU, you are taught a lot of overall global IP law knowledge, which will help you international. So if you have experience of doing cross-border work in multiple important jurisdictions, it is a very attractive hire for an international law firm. So it makes a big difference. Okay. So that's it. That's how it helps. I want your feedback and I'm going to answer your questions at this point. I see a lot of people watching this on YouTube. Please ask your questions in the chat. Same for people watching on Zoom. I am done, guys. I have 1 or 2 more slides, but you can start posting your questions. I'll start taking them one by one. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So that's it. So workshop 28th, very, very important. Tomorrow, 6 to 9. Register yourself. Oh, I have to give you the link also so that you can register. Just a moment, guys. I'll show you. This is 𝗨𝗡.com/IP law workshop. Okay. And I think we have only 300 seats, not more than that. No, it's IP workshop, sorry. 𝗨𝗡.com IP workshop. Yeah, 𝗨𝗡.com/IP workshop. Here is the link for your benefit. Right? Okay, I'm going to answer questions now, but in the meantime, you guys quickly register for the workshop. Make sure you're there. It will be amazing. It will be fantastic. It will be really kick-ass, and you're going to learn more about how to get this kind of paralegal work, how to make the best of these opportunities, how to learn, what you need to learn. And one more suggestion. Okay, let me share one more link with all of you guys. Before you come, I want you to read some of this content. Over here, you will find several articles on IP law paralegal work. Okay, so before you come tomorrow, try to read as much as you can. So you will come mentally prepared. You will have a lot of knowledge. You'll be able to ask the right questions. You'll be able to make the best of that session. Okay. All right. Now time to answer questions. I hope all your questions are here. Ready with all your questions. On YouTube, nobody's asking any questions. Everybody is very satisfied with everything, not giving me any feedback. Please give me your feedback if you have no questions, right? Chirag, Kinjal, all of you guys start giving me feedback quickly. All right. Let's see what questions are there. Where are the questions? Let me go from the bottom. Is there any paralegal work in arbitration? Tried finding certain courses from foreign universities, but really didn't get any answers. See, the problem is, Kanika, there is paralegal work in arbitration, and it is a great opportunity. But as of now, there are no courses that are suitable for it. I'll be very honest. Even in IP law, we convinced Texas A&M University, and we also collaborated to create this course. Otherwise, even this won't be there. Okay, so it is important. Does university name and rank matters? Absolutely matters. Absolutely matters. Okay, but the point is that there is no such course in arbitration like we have in IP. But actually, arbitration is one area in which we also are exploring. Might make something someday. But right now, what you have is in IP only. Okay, and definitely check out. You can start with IP and then get into arbitration also, because once you are a paralegal with anything at all and you have some track record, some credibility, then you start learning about things and then you can get into something else. So I would suggest, instead of waiting, you may want to take what is already there. Okay, that's my advice. But you can try to find, sometimes if you really work hard, you might be able to find some way out yourself. But there are no courses, Kanika, as of now. Does online diploma courses help us during LLB? Normally, it doesn't help. I mean, why will just a diploma course help? But it can help if you are learning practical skills from the diploma course. That would help you to get a job. That will help you to do your job better. That will help you to perform your internships better. It is teaching you something that your college is not teaching you, right? Because of which you can actually get a job. Then it is worth it, maybe. Or maybe you can do some freelance work that you're learning in that course. That is how 𝗨𝗡𝗂 does, right? We are offering you courses where you learn practical skills that you'll never learn in colleges. And if you try to learn it from a job, it can take you a long time, 2 years, 3 years. Same thing if you're teaching you in 3 months, same thing you're teaching in 6 months, then it makes a huge difference to your career. That's why people come to us. Okay. There are more questions. If I am not into IP law, will it be helpful in the workshop? Yes, even if you're not in IP law, it will help you to find a roadmap. Okay, so definitely go for it. What do you stand to lose? 3 hours of your time learning high quality stuff free of cost. You don't really stand to lose anything, but you will get a direction as to how to think of your foreign LLM, how to think of your, if you want to have a career abroad, how can you plan that? You'll get lots of ideas about that. Jubal Stephen, can you do a future webinar on LLM versus JD comparison with special reference to opportunity cost analysis? Oh, if you already have done a Indian LLB, to do a JD is very, very expensive, and you can totally overcome the need to do a JD by doing this paralegal work the way I'm describing. The reason people do JD is because you get more time in the USA. Instead of getting 1 year, you'll get 2 years or 3 years while you're doing JD in the US. That's why people do it. But if you're doing paralegal work sitting in India, that opportunity is there today. It was not there before. But after pandemic, people are ready to work online. So you can find online remote paralegal work unlike before, which is why it makes tremendous sense for you to do online remote paralegal work. It will be as good as JD if you do an LLM after that and you get qualified in New York or California by writing the bar exam there. Okay, so that's how it is. Could you please suggest a certificate course for IP law in UK? No, Niharika, I have no suggestions for that. UK IP law, not really. I can't think of anything. You can check with UK universities. But you should think, is there a reason why you are choosing UK or US? Because you will get more work from the US than in the UK as far as IP law is concerned. US is the country, apart from China, which has the highest number of patent filings, trademark filings. Most of the MNCs are from US. So the amount of work available in US is massive. And compared to UK is not the jurisdiction if you want to do IP law. If you want to do arbitration and you choose UK, I'll understand. But otherwise, why are you even thinking? If you want to do technology law, should you choose UK? No, you should choose US, because all the big technology companies are from the US. So you have to think of the market, Niharika. I don't think it's the smartest thing to do IP law with respect to UK. Okay? Much better to target US. Will it be helpful to do MBA after our LLB? I would not say it would not help at all. It can help to do MBA after LLB, but if you are trying to go into a different kind of role, so if you want to be, let's say you want to get into marketing, you want to get into sales, you want to get into law firm management, you want to do that kind of stuff, then doing MBA will make sense, right? You want to work for a large legal tech company. There are so many good legal tech companies today around the world. So if you want to work in one of those, then it might make a great sense to go ahead and do a MBA from such a place. Then there are people who don't want to work in a law firm, don't want to do litigation, they want an alternative career. For them also, it makes a lot of sense a lot of times to do an MBA. But otherwise, randomly doing MBA is not a good idea. Not for IPR. For IPR, while you do an MBA, right? You'll do LLM for that. Because if you want to practice in that country or you want clients from that country, doing MBA in that country will not help you, unfortunately, right? I hope you understand that. Okay. All right, all right. I don't see any other questions, so I think I have satisfied all your questions. There is nothing more to ask, but I got no feedback. Did you benefit from today's session? Any good words, bad words, ugly words for today's session? Anything, guys, at all? How many of you will be coming to how to go to USA without visa? You don't go to US without visa, you'll go to jail quickly. Don't do that. I will send you back also. Don't do it. Okay, so how many of you are coming for tomorrow's session 6 to 9, the workshop, 3-hour mega workshop? Who's coming? Lakshita will be there, Kshitij will be there. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Mitali, fantastic. Rishabh, awesome. Okay. Kshitija, fantastic, fantastic. Jubal, awesome. Somebody is asking about the company secretary program. I do not recommend the company secretary program while doing law. I do not think it is necessary. And I did a research because, you know, it is my word. A lot of people say doing CS is very good. So I actually did a research. I reached out to the all the top lawyers in the country, top lawyers in the sense in the companies, the recruiting, the legal heads of different companies. Okay, just a moment. I'll show you that. I'll give you access to that free book, right? Just a moment. See this. It's a great course, by the way. CS is a very good course. But if you're a lawyer, will doing CS help you? Not necessary. Okay, I'll just show you why. Where is this book? Still looking, just a moment, guys. Where is it? So basically, I surveyed with all of the top company legal heads, okay, of all big companies, and prepared a report and book out of it. But I'm trying to find it. Yeah. Found it. Just a moment. CS plus LLB. Is CS plus LLB useful? This is the topic, and we did a survey with 110 top, heads of Tata, Reliance, legal heads, right? ICICI Bank, all MNCs in India, all big ones, and we asked them that, do you think it helps? What is the benefit? How much it will help? Some people said 30% people, 30.6% said that yes, it is very, very helpful and etc. We prefer to hire people who have CS plus LLB, but 70% and the biggest companies, they said we don't want CS plus LLB. We want a CS separately and we want LLB hours separately. We don't want to mix CS and law. The CS people will do CS work and the law people will do law work. If I'm hiring a lawyer, I don't care if that person has CS. Okay. And don't believe what I am saying, just read what they have said. And there are some small companies, they want a CS plus lawyer together, smaller companies. Why? Because they're saving money. They don't have to hire a separate CS and separate lawyer. So they don't mind. They are okay to hire a CS plus lawyer. But all the large companies said, we don't care. We want to hire, and these are the best paying jobs in the market. And if you go to law firms, they don't care at all. Still, if you have a company, in-house counsel position, still they care a little bit that, some of them care. 30% people strongly care that in our company, if I get CS plus LLB, we'll hire them. But all the other 70% said, we don't care if they have CS. Very clear, very clear, very clear. There is no hesitation in what they said. And we have shared it with you. You can go through and you can see the kind of companies here, right? Look at this, which companies have responded, right? EXL Service, Indian Hotels Company, Taj Hotels, Zoom Car, Tata Chemicals, Ambuja Cements, Vedanta, Suzlon, Power Grid Corporation, Hyundai, Milan, Volkswagen, Star India, Uber, VFS Global, DBS, Parkin Elmer, Oyo Hotels, Entero Healthcare, DSM, Consumer Voice, PSA India, Ingenico, Piramal, ILNFS Engineering, Wellspun, TCS, Khosla Labs, E-Clerks, like Kotak Mahindra, like, through and through, right? Everybody has responded and said, Jindal, yeah, Clarivate, you can see Wipro, Genworks, Genpact, SR, Case Corp, Flipkart, Siemens, Lupin, Flipkart, like all of them, John Deere. You can just go through this list and you see what they have said. It will be eye-opening for you. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me today. Hope to see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Okay. Really looking forward to seeing you all. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I'm going to share my link once more quickly with all of you in case you forgot, right? Just a moment, once more. Here I am on Twitter. Many of you are already following me on Twitter. Those who are not, you can follow me here, right? Where is you? Sharing on YouTube in a second. All right, awesome. Thank you everyone for joining me. Looking forward to staying in touch with all of you. Take care, bye-bye. If I forget to follow you back on Twitter, just remind me, just send me a tweet saying please follow me back and I'll follow you back, okay? All right, take care everyone, bye-bye.